Hey everyone, how are we today? As you may or may not know, today is actually Mother's Day in Australia. So today we're going to be celebrating, like Earth Mother, Divine Feminine energy. A lot of people, believe in those things separately, but they all sort of stem from that same Divine Feminine energy. We do find that across all different religions, there is that divine feminine. There, like a lot of people don't even know, but in Christianity, for example, the Holy Spirit actually comes from the Divine Mother energy there. So, a lot of our history, the way that the world is, has sort of chosen to focus on the more masculine elements, and we have sort of lost quite a lot of the feminine elements in the world. As we can kind of tell that it's out of balance at the moment because of all the chaos. Things like war and fighting are more masculine elements. So society as a whole, we do have this thing where it's like the world as a whole is sort of imbalanced with the masculine and the feminine. And so today we are going to be looking at that divine feminine energy, and whether you identify as sort of more masculine, more feminine, or somewhere in the middle, it doesn't really matter. Divine feminine is all about finding that balance between the masculine and the feminine energies, and bringing them into balance. Okay, so it's something that we all sort of need to look at, that divine feminine within ourselves, and sort of nurture those qualities, in order to find that balance. Okay, so when we get to Father's Day in Australia, I will do the same sort of a reading for the divine masculine there, but today we are focusing on the divine feminine. Okay, me personally, I do prefer to sort of refer to it all as Earth Mother, or Gaia, but it is also known as Shakti in a lot of cultures, that yin energy, as opposed to the yang energy. As we know, with the yin yang symbology, it does require both of those to be in balance, and even the yin side has that dot of yang in the middle, and same with the yang having that dot of yin in it as well. So needing to incorporate that into our own center. So if you are a masculine, incorporating that feminine energy into your own energy, and vice versa. Okay. Because when the divine feminine energy is in shadow, on the shadow sides, that's when we see keywords like victim, codependent, insecure, manipulative, passive, overly emotional, inauthentic, and even cruel. Okay, but then, so what we want to focus on is bringing that those elements into the light, changing those qualities, transforming those qualities into the light, positive forces of the divine feminine, which, authentic, creative, compassionate, vulnerable, open-minded, sensual, instinctual, intuitive, considerate, adaptable, spontaneous, and willing to love. Okay, so very, very nurturing energy. It is a very cyclic energy as well. It runs in cycles, as we all know. Biological women do sort of run in cycles. It is a lunar energy, so we do run off the moon there as well. But it allows life to flourish, and bring about that fertility and abundance on the earth itself. The earth does need that feminine and masculine energy in order to create new life, with that fertility and whatnot as well. So um, and it is a very sort of emotionally and spiritually supportive energy as well. So, we all would love a bit of extra emotional support in our lives, and spiritual support. So we're sort of looking at that energy today. I just wanted to talk a little bit more about that in case you didn't know much about the divine feminine, the divine mother energy, But today I do have I have this paired decks here that are, they are actually part of a trilogy, but I don't actually have the tarot version. But here I have the Seeker's Lenormand deck there, which pairs with the Earthbound Oracle. Okay, so as you can see, very similar covers on those cards. But I am going to be just grabbing a insight from the magical messages from the Fairies Oracle deck as well. All right, so I'll do that firstly. But you know, we're just going to be focusing today on, you know, like what advice would the divine feminine give us to find balance? Okay, because we are seeing it at the moment, like I said, in the world as a whole, there's not much balance. Okay, even throughout history, we have a very clear history where the feminine and masculine have been totally different treatment throughout history, and you know, we're really sort of on a path to finding that equality, not just within the world, but you know, it all starts off within each and every one of us. All right, so we're going to be looking at equality when it comes to the divine feminine energy today and how we can achieve that. Okay, so I'll get started with Aries. How are we today, Aries? Just like I said, looking at the divine feminine and how can the divine feminine help us find balance? How can the divine feminine help Aries find balance? Okay, so I do have there the whom do you need to forgive card. Okay, Aries. So that says, as you release old anger or resentment, you will find that your wishes will come true. Okay, so, you know, to help you find balance, we are going to be looking at forgiving old anger and resentment. It may be toward yourself, it may be towards others, all right? It may be towards, you know, just the world in general. Like, why did this happen to me? I'm so angry at the world, you know, that kind of a vibe as well. The other card we have for you there is business venture. Okay, quite interesting for a balance sort of spread there. Trust and follow through on a new business idea or career opportunity. Okay, Aries. So obviously, business is something that can help you balance at the moment as well. So, you know, possibly some sort of career path that you may need to sort of look at that a little bit more closely to help you find that balance within your life. All right. But how can the divine feminine help Aries find balance, please? I'm actually being told to use the other deck there for that. So I'll use the Oracle deck for that question. How can divine feminine help Aries find balance, please? Okay. I felt like I needed to pull four there. So and the fourth one I've pulled is the word balance. That's the balance card. Okay, so that's finishing off that four spread. So you know, obviously we're headed towards balance there, Aries. I do have the fire card at the bottom of the deck as well. So as we all know, that's Aries you know, element. So working within your own elements at the moment may be important as well. The other interesting card I'm seeing in this four spread here, I have the wealth card there as well. Okay, and as we saw with that business venture coming through, you know, obviously creating your own sense of wealth and having that, you know, self-reliability when it comes to wealth and career, obviously quite important to you at the moment, Aries. So, you know, if there is, you know, something to do with your career, you know, on your mind, that's going to help you find balance, all right? And we're sort of seeing here how we can help with that as well, because we do have, well, firstly it was the achievement card there, okay? And so you can kind of see that, as anyone that does know my lenormand readings, the mountain symbology is always talking about hard work and perseverance, okay? So quite interesting there. But also, as you can see, it's the top of the mountain here that is shining. So it's talking about focusing on getting to the top of the mountain and getting those achievements under your belt, kind of letting you know that you can achieve these things, Aries. And when you do have this sense of achievement and from your own perseverance, you will find that balance, okay? So I feel as though we're just merely talking about some sort of financial achievement, career achievement for you at the moment, and putting in that perseverance to help create that abundance. Once again, the fish do normally talk about abundance when it comes to symbology itself. So having that perseverance to climb that mountain, and then when you achieve that mountain climb, that balance will sort of flow through for you. That's lovely. And obviously the wealth as well, like we all like to hear about some extra wealth headed our way, right? So it's all about balancing that out though. Okay. So not perseverance and achievement, but not to the point of, don't overdo yourself or anything like that, of course. Okay, divine feminine advice for Aries, please. Divine feminine advice for Aries, please. Okay, so quite interesting there, Aries. We do have another more sort of financial related type card there, but we are seeing the key there. So that does talk about success in general, all right? So, find your success. Find what makes you feel successful and walk towards that. Persevere towards, what makes you feel successful, and new doors will open for you, and more achievements, I feel, will open for you. We do have the fox energy there as well. So that can talk about quite a few different things. It also can be a little bit of a career type card, because, the fox can be like a bit of a salesman type energy, being quite clever and cunning and, that trade sort of mentality, that salesman type mentality. All right. So, we might be, I kind of want to say persevering through the sales or something like that. Being clever with the way that you're gaining sales or something like that. Not falling into any manipulative sort of tactics or anything like that. But, you don't want to fall into any of the negative elements of the fox there. But, doing what it takes to put the food on the table. All right. So, that's that perseverance coming through. Those salesman tactics, like, telling the customer what they want to hear about the product, kind of a vibe, okay? And then we are seeing the dog card there. So I feel as though that's related to that who do you need to forgive card that we drew, being loyal and compassionate with yourself. All right, I feel as though that's the advice coming from that. I will mention, relying on your friends and your support systems as well, because that is a friendship card. But I am getting more so that that sense of loyalty and compassion towards yourself. And anyone that has been watching my videos lately, we have been drawing that dog energy for you guys nearly every single reading I can remember lately. Okay, so quite interesting that you guys have pulled that dog energy once again. Obviously, it's super important for you guys. And to be completely honest, the one of the main Aries figures in my personal life there, that is a card that I have drawn for him quite a lot in the past. So it's obviously quite important, for you guys to rely on the support around you and the people that are loyal to you and show you compassion. It's obviously quite important for you, Aries. All right. It's kind of like I said, coming out repeatedly. So it's obviously quite important for you there, Aries. But we'll move along to Taurus. How are we, Taurus? Just making sure I've got our timestamps there. Okay, so what we're doing today, we're just having a look there. How can the divine feminine help Taurus find balance? How can the divine feminine help Taurus find balance? Okay, so for you, Taurus, we with these magical messages from the fairies cards, we have the Easy Does It card. Okay, so stop trying so hard to control everything, and all the doors will open for you. Okay, so when it comes to the divine feminine wanting you to find balance, that is letting us know that you are in the more masculine element of trying to control everything. Okay, Taurus, because that is a masculine sort of a masculine energy. So it's sort of telling you to just go easy and stop trying to control everything. Just go with the flow, and things will sort of go the way that they should. New doors will open for you once you find that balance when it comes to controlling every little thing in your life. And then what we're seeing is your wish is granted. Okay, so what you've asked for is coming true. So, I feel as though we can sort of say for you there, Taurus, that, that obviously is a very, very positive card. And so when we are, so I feel as though that's kind of just saying to us, if you want balance in your life, just ask for it. Just, put the intention out there, and that wish will get granted. Okay, so if you do feel as though you do need some help in some extra areas, put your intentions out there and those wishes will be granted. Okay, so how can the divine feminine help Taurus find balance, please? Okay, so we do have for you, Taurus, firstly, we have the gift card. Okay, so with the imagery of the apple, it kind of brings that recollection of like Snow White and the tainted apple. Okay, so especially when I am seeing this deceit card right next to it. All right, so I feel as though if you are giving gifts, be clear with your intention that you are giving a gift, and you're not, expecting anything in return. All right, because I feel as though they're connected. All right, and if you're receiving a gift, make sure that that gift is not being given to you, for ulterior motives or anything like that. I kind of feel that that's just something that you need to be aware of at the moment, Taurus, and to help you find balance with, looking at things in that sense of, not doing things out of any ulterior motives as such, not giving people gifts, um, like for the wrong reasons. If you're wanting to give someone a gift, do it because you want to give that person a gift. Okay, like I know that. Okay, like we're doing this reading because it's Mother's Day. So, if you're in Australia like me, you may be giving a gift for the purpose of it's Mother's Day. I have to, but you don't have to. Take that out of your intentions that you have to give your mother a gift. Stop and focus on why, like, even if you don't have to give your mother a gift, even if it's not expected of you, think about all the things, the reasons that you would want to give that gift anyway, and give them that gift for those reasons and not because it's, you have to give them a gift, so to speak. All right. And then we're talking about release as well. Okay. So I do feel as though that's connected to that easy does it message there. So releasing control. All right. And releasing emotional control as well, all right? Because the lily imagery can talk a lot about emotional intimacy and vulnerability. So it's talking about, releasing your blocks to those, being, um, stop feeling like you have to be in control of your emotions all the time, is what I want to say to you there, Taurus, when it comes to that. But we'll grab you some advice from Divine Feminine as well. So advice for Taurus from the Divine Feminine, please. Okay. This is quite interesting advice for you, Taurus, all right? Because what we're seeing is the tree, okay? So the tree does talk about, self-growth, but I feel like we're talking about more the wisdom and knowledge elements here, okay? But I only want to talk about that super quickly because I feel like it's these other two cards that are, way more important, and this is just the prelude to that answer there, that advice there. The tree is just telling us to sort of educate ourselves on our, and looking within a bit as well, because it is a self card. I feel as though we're talking about, looking within, and putting a conscious effort into balancing not only our thoughts with the cloud there, but also our emotions with the moon. All right. So these two together, it's like, the only one missing is the heart space. All right. So we've got our thoughts, our emotions, and then, you would have your heart or soul, okay, over here, because we've got like logic and then emotion, so masculine and feminine. So it's talking about being aware of both of those and balancing those out, all right? Because the thoughts card is all about logic and your thoughts, and that overthinking. I feel as though this is where that control is coming from. We're overthinking things and not coming from this emotional side quite as much. All right, you can kind of even see there that it is a little bit, even just the shapes are more, that's more masculine. With the pointed edges, it talks a lot more about harsh things like logic and overthinking and anxiety, and that control that we talked about. Whereas, the moon energy is that beautiful circle that, is all smooth edges, and there's no sort of sharp edges that are going to cut you or anything like that. So I really feel as though that's talking about, balancing those energies. Also, though, because we are asking the Divine Feminine for guidance, and the moon card does truly represent the Divine Feminine, I do feel as though, we've got that aspect of being quite protected by Divine Feminine at this time, should you ask for it. Like we saw, your wish is granted. So, asking for that protection from the Divine Feminine, asking the Divine Feminine to help you balance out that masculine control energy, and it all will sort of grow new branches within you, grow new leaves, and become part of your wisdom. All right. So, that's quite interesting message for you there, Taurus. Okay. We're moving on to Gemini. How are we, Gemini? I'm just making sure I've got the timestamps right. But we are looking today at the Divine Feminine energy, okay? So firstly, we're going to be asking the Divine Feminine for how can Gemini find balance? How can Gemini find balance? Interesting cards have come out for us here, Gemini. We do firstly have the new career card, Gemini. All right, so it's hard to see some of these images. Your work focus is shifting in a positive, new, and successful direction. All right, so even if you're not changing careers or anything like that, there's just some sort of new dimension within the career aspect that is going to help bring you some balance, I feel. And so embracing any changes within the workplace, within your career self, okay, your work focus and possible changes of direction, okay? So, you know, really going to help you find a bit more balance in your whole entirety there, Gemini. And this one is a very interesting one for you, Gemini. Especially when it's the divine feminine. Okay, so we're seeing the pregnancy card there. Okay, so it may not be talking about like a physical pregnancy. Okay, we are just talking about that pregnancy of like you know, growing something within yourself. Okay, so the divine feminine is such a nurturing energy. You know, she wants you to nurture that and grow that within yourself to help find that balance. Okay, you know, hopefully it's not going to take the whole 9 months before you. But you know, it could also talk about, you know, an actual pregnancy coming up in your life, Gemini, that may be, you know, somehow important to you finding balance at this time. So, you know, it does say the birth of a child brings great blessings to you and the world. So like I said, it may not be a physical birth. It may be like the birth of this new career, the birth of new aspects within yourself, growing and nurturing certain aspects within yourself there. Okay, so we'll use the oracle next. How can Gemini find balance? Divine feminine, how can Gemini find balance? Okay, so we are seeing, and it landed on that new career thing. So we are seeing achievement coming through with that. With the oracle is the first card we've got there is that sense of achievement. You know, so stopping and taking stock of your achievements in life, in work. I'm feeling like it may be work related for you guys, Gemini. You know, and taking stock of the achievements that you have made. Okay, and you know, appreciating yourself when it comes to those achievements and having that sense of achievement, even if it's just little things like I got out of bed today. That was fantastic. What an achievement. Like some days that is a huge achievement. Okay, like especially if you like sleep as much as I do. We do also have the fear card coming through, Gemini. So I feel as though that's sort of letting us know, you know, we do need to sort of release fear and face our fears a little bit more in order to help find balance. All right, so there may be a certain fear holding you back a little bit. You can kind of see in this image. I hate this card, but like it's a strong word, but I used to have a pet bunny. All right, so seeing a bunny pierced with arrows, being held down by arrows, does not appeal to me at all. That's probably one of my biggest fears. I think is you know, the mistreatment of animals. Like it really irks me. All right, um, so you know, but it's some sort of fear that's pinning you down a little bit. It may be pinning you down, holding you back a little bit. All right, so you know, facing your fears a little bit and then releasing those fears, letting go of those fears. All right. Um, and then we're actually seeing the ceremony card there as well. All right. So ceremony, that can talk about quite a few different things. But with that pregnancy card and the new career card, I feel as though, you know, it could be linked to one of those things. Like, so, you know, if we are talking about a real world pregnancy, we do have some ceremonies that do come along with that. Okay. So, you know, there's, you know, these days we have baby showers are a kind of a ceremony for the baby, right? And then a lot of people still practice baptism or whatever as well, those sorts of things. But somehow ceremony being quite important. So I'm kind of getting that vibe of, you know, traditions as well with that. All right. So, but also like I do feel too that for some of the Geminis out there, you know, I may be talking to someone who is quite interested in the more esoteric wording of ceremony. All right, and so doing some ceremony um, to the Divine Mother, to the Divine Feminine. All right, do a little ceremony, even if it's just like a little basic, you know, affirmation in your life. You know, that in itself is kind of like a ceremony as well. Like when you do start to practice affirmations, it does become like it does have a very similar vibe to you know, a ceremony. So it could be quite important for you to help find balance as well. I do feel as though for a lot of people that may be some sort of affirmational ceremony, that's some sort of manifestation type ceremony that we are, you know, just celebrating the divine, basically. And I feel as though, you know, if that is speaking to you right now, I would maybe be looking at doing it specifically for Divine Feminine, since that's who's given us this advice, I suppose. We'll ask Divine Feminine for some direct advice for Gemini at this time. Advice for Gemini, please. Okay, so firstly, I'll show you there. I did have the masculine energy popping on out. All right, so when I and that was like right after I've said that about that, but I feel as though so we're talking about embracing both masculine and feminine energy. All right, we're wanting to really find that balance. Okay, because like I said, silly me, because that we were talking about how do we find balance, you know, for Gemini, and we saw the ceremony. So maybe we're actually looking at some sort of ceremony where you are specifically trying to balance the feminine and masculine energies there. All right. I do also have the anchor and the fish came out together. Okay, so it does feel as though with that message, the advice is kind of you know, staying firm in your path to abundance. All right, because as we saw with that new career card coming out and then that achievement card coming out, the mountain imagery on that achievement card is, you know, sometimes we do need to put in a little bit of work to get to those achievements. All right, and I feel as though this is the advice we're getting with these particular cards, is like stay firm in that path to that abundance, and it will flow. All right, because you know, you want to just stay sturdy. All right, like an anchor holds the ship from sailing away, so don't get carried away with yourself when you're trying to get to these achievements. You know, like the whole I'm really getting that vibe of like slow and steady wins the race kind of a vibe. You know, so just staying firm that you are following the path of abundance. All right, balancing that masculine, feminine. And then I do have the home card as well. So that talks about, just once again, it's very similar to that anchor, staying stable and secure with where you are and where you are headed. All right, because I feel as though you are headed in a stable, secure direction. You may not feel like that at times, but you definitely are. Okay, so that's a really good little energy for you there, Gemini. Pretty much telling us we're, you know, headed on the right path at the moment, Gemini, and definitely will be, you know, having some interesting things coming through for you there. Okay, so we'll move over to Cancer. How are we, Cancer? Okay, so we are looking at divine feminine energy today. Okay, so how can Cancer find balance with the divine feminine? How can Cancer find balance with the divine feminine, please? Okay, so firstly, we're seeing patience, please. Okay, so some kind of patience may be involved for you there, Cancer. What you're asking for is coming about. Have patience as there are unforeseen factors that need to occur first. All right, so in order for us to find balance, we may also need to find a sense of patience. All right, and it does also say walk away. All right, so leave the unhealthy situation and enjoy the new doors that open as a result. So there may be something that we're needing to walk away from, Cancer, and that's why we've got this element of having to wait a little bit longer because we're waiting for, these other circumstances to sort of clear the path for us. All right, so if you do need to walk away from an unhealthy situation, it's kind of letting you know that if you do want to regain balance in your life, that it may take a little bit of time to be able to walk away fully, but that is kind of what it's telling us that we kind of probably will need to be doing to find balance once again. All right. So how can Cancer find balance? Divine Feminine, please. How can Cancer find balance? Okay, so we are seeing a similar sort of message to the Gemini message, to be completely honest. We do have the ceremony card there. I feel as though that's talking about the walking away energy, all right? So, walking away, that may be involving some sort of a ceremony type thing, okay? Like even just the act of, closing a door to something in your life and walking away from an unhealthy situation, that in itself is a ceremony for your soul, kind of a vibe. It could also be talking about things like, an actual like divorce situation, or some sort of ceremony that is important coming through for you to find balance. As you can see, that ceremony itself is quite balanced with the white candle and the black candle. So it's definitely a ceremony specifically for balance. Okay, so there may be something upcoming for you where it will have that sort of ceremony kind of vibe. But it will help you find balance as well. We are seeing transformation. Okay, so don't be afraid of transforming this unhealthy situation into brand new opportunities. All right, don't be afraid to transform the qualities within yourself that if you feel as though if you watch that intro there when we talked about the shadow side, as well as the positive side of the divine feminine energy there, if you do have any qualities that you do need to transform, going on ahead and focusing on those positive qualities, that nurturing sort of a vibe. And we do also have the life card there. Okay, so you can kind of see that's a seed just starting to pop its little vine there. So we do, like I said, it's similar to the Gemini reading because they did have the pregnancy card, all right, and the ceremony card as well. And the pregnancy card obviously quite similar to this new life, like new life sprouting kind of a vibe there. But I do feel that for you guys, it's probably more connected to this transformation. Just letting us know that once you start transforming yourself and walking away from this situation, you will be starting a brand new life. All right, and it'll be like you finally popped out of your shell, your seedling has sprouted, kind of a vibe. I do feel as though those two are quite linked there. But we'll get you some direct advice, Cancer. Advice for Cancer, please. Okay, so we're seeing the star, the tree, and the dog energy. Okay, so the star straight away does talk about, wishes and having hope and optimism, that all your wishes will come true. Okay, so I feel as though the main message for us there, Cancer, is to, remain hopeful, remain optimistic that all these things will work out. That patience, please, energy, be patient and all your wishes will come true. Okay, the tree energy there, the advice for you there is to focus on your self-growth. Okay, as we've seen there with those other things, focus on your self-transformation and becoming the person that you do truly want to be, and be strong like the tree where you can weather any storm. Okay, because that's self-growth, quite important. We do have that dog energy as well, so that does quite often talk about friendships and relying on the support of your friends, but I do find also that it does talk about loyalty and compassion for yourself as well. Okay, so while we're going through this transformation, while we're going through this process, really giving yourself loyalty and staying compassionate with yourself, patience, please. These things don't happen overnight, but if you stay loyal to your choices and you stay compassionate with yourself, you will start seeing those new doors opening for you there. Okay, so well, we'll move over to Leo. How are we today, Leo? Okay, so firstly, we're going to use the magical messages from the fairies for you and ask, how can Virgo find balance with the Divine Feminine, please? Divine Feminine, how can Virgo find balance? Okay, so look at that. Firstly, we have the connect to nature, connect with nature. Okay, so you are rejuvenated and inspired by spending time outdoors. Okay, so reconnecting with nature. You guys are an earth sign, so get out there, feet in the grass, earth yourself out. You can see in this particular card, it is a woman sitting in a tree. I'm also an earth sign, and that's actually how I like to meditate. I will, climb a tree and connect with nature and, do a little meditation or affirmation and, have some gratitude for the Earth Mother while I'm at it. So that might be something handy for you guys at the moment as well. The second card we have for you there is the Vegetarian card. So a new way of eating gives you more energy, greater health, clarity, and stronger manifestation abilities. Okay, so not necessarily talking about, going vegan or going fully vegetarian or anything like that, Virgo. I do understand, that's not everyone's thing. It's kind of more talking about looking at what you're putting into your body and, just focusing on a cleaner sort of diet. A lot of Virgos out there may be inspired to do like a cleanse, or obviously you're more than welcome to go vegetarian. I personally don't eat very much meat, and I actually prefer that these days. The smell of meat actually makes me feel a bit sickly these days, to be completely honest, because I just don't eat it very often. But it does, does give you more energy and greater health and all that sort of stuff. So, even if you're still eating meat, make sure you just chuck some salad on the plate as well, and just be conscious about, what you're putting into your body and what effects those things may have on you personally. All right. So swapping over to the Oracle. Divine Feminine, how can Virgo find balance, please? Okay, that's interesting message there. So firstly, we have the cycle card. As you can see, it's like a snake with little wings. Look at his little wings there. I didn't look at that. Cycle card. Okay, so it's talking about cycles, which is quite interesting because the next card we have there is transformation. And on this card, we can kind of see all the cycles as well. Okay, so we see the cocoon there, we see the caterpillar, and then we see the butterfly. And this little guy here had his little dragonfly wings, little butterfly wings. They are little butterfly wings. They look sort of dragonfly-ish, but okay. Um, so we're sort of looking at the cycles that we have followed thus far in our life and transforming those cycles to cycles that are going to better serve us. Okay, so if you have been in any cycles that you don't want to get stuck in that cycle and you don't want to repeat that cycle, making sure we're transforming ourselves, our own energy, in order to find that balance and find a cycle that works for us. So if you a lot of the time people look at this within relationships and things like that. You do get sort of stuck with the same people, but just different faces, different people, and if you want to break that cycle, you do need to transform parts of yourself, not changing yourself, but look, evolving, right? For evolving, going into your little cocoon and coming out anew. All right, so evolving into new cycles, quite important for you to find some new balance for yourself there. It's like, yeah, definitely some sort of cycle that's affecting you and taking your balance. And then we do also have the soul card, which is the sun card. Okay, so with the sun cards, we do sort of see a lot of happiness and warmth, and it is more of a masculine energy as well. So because the lunar energy is the feminine energy. So, the solar energy is sort of more the masculine, fiery kind of energy there. So it's kind of using that to your advantage, not forgetting your more feminine aspects, but using the masculine aspects to your advantage within this transformation. So I feel as though we're transform, and it could even be straightforward, talking about transforming certain masculine tendencies that you may have into more feminine, connecting with nature, earth, mother kind of energies. All right. So that's kind of what I'm getting from that there. It is also important to note that sun energy super does talk about happiness. Okay, so there is definitely happiness on the other side of this transformation for you there, Virgo. But we'll move over to the lenormand and get you some direct advice. Divine Feminine, advice for Virgo, please. Okay, can I just get clarity on those two, please? Can I just get clarity on those two, please? Okay. Interesting. Once again, I am seeing the sun card coming out in the lenormand, all right? So we have the soul, which is the solar card, and then the sun card. So as you can tell, they are very, very similar. Like I said, these decks are a pair. Okay, so we're seeing the same energy in both decks coming through. All right. So the sun energy, like I said, that happiness, things being revealed to you. Okay, and we do then have the feminine energy, followed by the letter, which I've clarified those two with the book. Okay, so what we're kind of seeing here is that something is going to be revealed. Something's going to come to light when it comes to that sun energy. And it's quite possibly going to be some feminine-based communication. Okay, so we are looking at a feminine-based communication here with the letter. I don't I don't feel as though that's an actual person, okay? Yeah, I'm not really feeling that that is an actual person. That is just talking about that communication being feminine, all right? So it's going to be like some sort of, let me have a look here. It might be intuitive, like something coming to light intuitively, and then confirmed by physical communication, or like vulnerable communication. Someone being a little bit emotional or vulnerable with you, and it's going to bring forth some sort of news or communication, because this communication card, the letter here, can talk about physical letters, emails, text messages, phone calls, talking online, talking in person, any type of communication. All right. So but it is going to be like in a more it's feeling like the conversation itself is going to be like more feminine, more like a softly emotional type of communication. All right. And since we are doing, the mother kind of energy here, it could actually be talking, like, just for one or two of you, it could be talking about communicating with your mother, because like with the feminine as well, sometimes the feminine will talk about a mother figure. All right, so that might be for one or two of you that you need to communicate with your mom, so send her a text or something. Okay. um, but I'm just feeling it's more so along the lines of some sort of emotional communication headed towards you, something coming to light through that communication, which will then sort of lead to a new chapter, will lead to, like as you can see here, we've got the keyhole in this book. So it's kind of like this information is going to unlock this book, unlock this next chapter, unlock this story. All right. So I do feel as though that's definitely talking about some sort of information coming to light. Um, and if that's your advice, it's talking about as advice, it's talking about allowing new chapters to begin, basically, like taking that communication on board and allowing the new chapters to sort of begin in your life. All right. So that's what we have for you. I feel as though it might have to do with that cycle, that previous cycle ending and transforming into a new sort of cycle there. All right. But we'll move along. Oh, I've done it again, haven't I? I've accidentally swapped Virgo and Leo. That last reading definitely was Virgo energy, all right? I'm pretty good at telling the difference these days that was definitely for Virgo. So I have I don't know how I keep swapping Virgo and Leo around, but I've done it again, okay? So I will move on to Leo, okay? Okay, Leo, we're looking at divine feminine energy. So firstly, we're going to use the magical messages from the fairies, and we're going to ask divine feminine for how can Leo help them find balance? How can Leo find balance at this time, please? Divine feminine, how can Leo find balance? Okay, so as soon as I saw that first card, I actually got a message in my head, and then I drew the second card, which was pretty much the message I got in my head. Okay, so the second card I got here was ask for what you want. Okay, so let the universe and other people know what you need. Okay, so it's basically talking about manifestation and using manifestation to get your wish is granted. Okay, so what you've asked for is coming true. Okay, so it's letting us know that you need to ask for it. You need to ask for what you want. Okay, you yeah, that's what I would always say with this particular card anyway, and then it's come out for us as well. So it's talking about, in order to find balance, you need to ask for balance. All right. Ask, maybe the divine feminine energies for some balance in your life to help you balance out the masculine and feminine sides of yourself there. And maybe practice some manifestation, some affirmations as well. Okay, so divine feminine, how can Leo find balance, please? Sorry, it always makes me giggle when the messages I'm intuitively getting, and then that card just comes out by itself, like. Just a bit of confirmation there, I suppose. Trust my intuition more, hey? Don't worry, I'm a Leo rising as well, so it's probably for me as well, okay? Divine feminine, how can we help Leo find balance? I love you guys, Leo. You the light in my day, I swear. Okay, so firstly we have the life card there. You can see it's a seed sprouting its little shoot there. So really talking about that creating those ideas of what you want, here in the seed, and they will start to sprout. Okay, that's a pretty simple little message there, nurturing the seeds of the things that we truly desire. Okay, and then we will find balance. Okay, so the balance card has come on out for us there, Leo. So I'm feeling like we are pretty close to, that sense of balance as is. It's just a matter of asking for the other little things, the fine tuning, okay, is what I'm kind of feeling there. And then we have the soul card, which, solar, that is the sun card. It is the paired deck to the lenormand I'm using as well. So, it does represent very similar things to the sun in lenormand. So we can be safe to assume that that is also representing our Leos as well. But also, a lot of warmth and happiness, that nurturing kind of warm vibe, things coming to light that are helping you find balance within yourself. Okay. And, at the end of the day too, when we've got your wishes granted, and when I talk about wishes, I always think about that, wish upon a star, and the sun is the biggest star in our sky, right? So, for you guys, Leo, maybe wishing on the sun. Don't worry about them little stars in the sky. Wish upon the sun, and, we can manifest these huge solar dreams instead of just a small little wish, all right? Oh, like I said, Leo, you are the light in my life. And, that really does represent that you guys are the light. Okay, so I love it. I love it. Okay, so advice for Leo, please. Advice for Leo. Okay, on the bottom of the deck, I have the abundance card as well, okay? So we do have some new chapters being unlocked for you, okay? So your advice is to embrace the new chapters, embrace the next chapter in your life, embrace where your story is headed, all right? Especially too because, we are seeing with the ship here, it is, that little ladybug on the leaf ship. So cute. But we are sort of seeing, journeys and traveling and adventure. So those new chapters in your life may involve travel, and embracing travel, and but more so embracing the adventurous side of life, okay? And also, you know, traveling towards your more feminine sides as well, embracing the feminine. That is the feminine card there. So, you know, embracing those nurturing aspects, embracing your emotions, embracing your intuition as well, all right? And I feel as though, you know, once again, asking for what you want, okay? So whatever it is that you want, embracing those things, and with that feminine energy, we definitely can manifest those, you know, and you know, taking that journey within yourself to find the adventures in life, no matter how small they are, okay? And sort of creating our own story, writing our own story. That's beautiful, Leo. I like I said, I can't get over you guys sometimes. I embrace the Leo energy. I do, like, I adore the fact that my rising sign is Leo, and I am I do have quite a few Leo traits as well. So I do really embrace those. Okay, so that was a pretty short and sweet one, Leo, but leave a comment and let me know how that resonates, because everyone that comments will go in the draw for a free personal as well, all right? But we'll move on to Libra. How are we, Libra? Just making sure I've got our timestamps there. But we're looking today, asking the Divine Feminine for how can we find balance? How can Libra find balance, please? Okay, so we are seeing the autumn card, okay? So in the fall season, everything comes together and you reap wonderful harvests of abundance. All right, so it's important to note that I'm here in Australia, as I mentioned in that intro, because we are celebrating Mother's Day today. But fall or autumn is actually now for us, okay? So I do understand that elsewhere in the world it is not. You guys are sort of headed into spring break and all those kinds of fun things. But, you know, when we're talking about autumn, I do reference my own seasons, okay? So we're sort of talking pretty current energy here, and everything coming together and reaping those harvests of abundance sort of now for you. And so you know, we are looking at a lot more balance coming into your life currently, you know, and you know, for the next month or so, all right? Because what we've got, no, it ends. Autumn ends at the end of this month, right? So, you know, so it's pretty close up, pretty you know, we've got this season of abundance happening right here, right now. You know, able to find that balance like immediately, like right here, right now kind of thing. We do also have the children card coming out there as well. So that does say your connection with children is part of your life's purpose. All right, so that may resonate for some of you there. But, you know, if you've got children in your life, spending time with them is going to be quite important to help you find balance again at the moment. But also, too, that you are a child of the divine, all right? You are a child of the earth as well. So embracing your place in that ecosystem, I suppose, as well, you know, and embracing, you know, the divine mother kind of energy, and your connection to that as the child of the divine mother. All right, so that's part of your life's purpose. That's going to help you find balance. And you know, so if, like I said, if you do have close children to you, that will actually really be supportive energy for you at this time to be spending some time with them as well. All right, how can Leo find balance? Sorry, not Leo, Libra. My brain is totally all over the place today. I've just been making some like bread, and I've been on a million different tangents. Like I said, it's Mother's Day here, so needing to spend time with my child as well. So I do apologize for saying Leo instead of Libra, but I am reading for Libra. Don't worry, I did totally mix up Virgo and Leo's readings earlier and did them in the wrong order, but like I said, my brain's still catching up, okay? Libra, how can we help Libra find balance, please? Okay, so yeah, you guys are an air sign, right? So we do have the air coming out as well. So, you know, embracing your own element being quite important for you to help find that balance at the moment as well. So, you know, air kind of things. It can just talk about breathing exercises as well. So, like maybe doing some breathing exercises to help you find balance at the moment. But we are also seeing the bond card. So that's really feeling like it's linking back to what I was saying about the children card there, that if you do have children in your life, that, you know, using, like, relying on that bond and that connection with them, you know, is going to be super beneficial at this time for you there, you know, creating stronger bonds with those children as well. Okay, sorry. This top is quite low. I just noticed it in the camera there. I'm sorry, Libra. But yeah, so those bonds are quite, you know, important to help you find some balance at this time, and not just bonds with real life people, but bonds with yourself, bonds with the divine, like we discussed as well. The other thing to help you find balance, we have cycles. Okay, so the cycle card there really does talk about just looking at the cycles in our life, you know, and looking at how we want to transform those cycles. Like, is there any cycles that, you know, aren't really serving us, and that we want to sort of break that cycle and move on to a newer, fresher cycle? So it's really just talking about having a look at those cycles that we have found ourselves in the past, and using that as like a reflection tool to help you understand how you can balance those cycles for yourself. All right. But some advice for Libra, please. Advice for Libra. Okay, so your advice, it's actually a straightforward kind of message I've got here when it comes to your advice. We have the rider, the ship, and then the heart. Okay, so the rider and the ship are both movement. Okay, so the rider does bring good news in. Okay, the ship is like travel and journeys and adventures. All right, so I feel like this, as an advice, is for you to sort of travel into the next phase, to bring good news to people that you love. Okay, so this may or may not be like a love connection, like a romance connection, but it's kind of telling me, like, Libra, go to them kind of a vibe. Okay, so it's kind of telling me to move forwards towards your true heart. So wherever your heart truly does lay, heading towards that, bringing in that good news with, like, you know, it is very, the rider is a super sort of happy, good news kind of vibe there. So it's happy news, it's happy travels. You may even be, you know, having to physically travel to get to your true heart. Okay, so wherever your true heart lays, you know, we may not even be talking about people. All right, we may be just talking about, you know, your passions and the things that you love in this world, the things that you're truly, you know, make your heart sing, kind of a vibe. All right, and your bond with those things, your bond with, you know, the love that you have to give, and all those sorts of things, and you know, that sense of adventure to travel towards those things, and just, yeah, like I am feeling the movement of you, you know, moving towards that heart space. All right, so that's kind of your advice, is to move towards your heart space, basically. Wherever your heart lays, you know, you guys are going to know it's going to be a bit different for everybody. That may be an actual person for some of you, and that may just be more talking about just that loving space within you, the things that you love and the things that are close to your heart. Okay, and making sure we're moving towards those things. All right. Okay, well, we'll move over to Scorpio. How are we today, Scorpio? Just looking today at the divine feminine energy. So firstly, we're going to ask, how can Scorpio find balance? Divine feminine, how can Scorpio find balance, please? Not wanting to shuffle today. How can Scorpio find balance, please? Okay, so firstly we have the walk away card. Okay, so that does say leave the unhealthy situation and enjoy the new doors that open as a result. Okay, so if there is some sort of unhealthy situation that is sort of surrounding your energy at the moment, in order to find balance, we're needing to move away from that situation. All right, you guys are going to know what truly, you know, what truly sets your heart on fire and what does not, you know, and what is not serving your highest good, and moving away from those things that actually aren't serving you. Okay, so a bit of a harsher energy to start with there, but we do also have the winter card there. Okay, so that says the answers to your prayers and affirmations are fully realized in the winter months. So I do read the seasons in these cards as my own seasons. I'm here in Australia, so winter actually starts next month for us, so we are looking at some pretty you know, close by energy here. All right, so in the next few months, seeing those affirmations and answers being sort of brought in for you. It's also important to note that if you do want prayers and affirmations being fully realized, that you need to ask clearly for those things. All right. I do feel as though it could also be talking about needing to close off that situation by sort of, you know, by the end of winter, or by, you know, the solid of winter. So, you know, I would be sort of saying within the next sort of month, making sure we're walking away from things that don't serve us, and really helping yourself find that balance. And like I said, you know, if you want those affirmations to be realized, to make sure we're asking for balance as well, if we're wanting to achieve that. Okay. But how can Scorpio find balance, please? How can Scorpio find balance? Okay, and can I just get a clarity for that third card, please? Clarity for that third card, please. Is that a person? No. Okay. Firstly, I feel as though this is linked up to that walking away vibe there, okay, because we do have the achievement card coming through, okay, so I feel like that's just letting us know achieving that, walking away from things that don't serve us, that achievement that you're going to feel once you do walk away, that's actually going to super help you find balance. That's going to actually really be in your favor, Scorpio. We also have the water energy coming through, which obviously you guys are a water sign. So it's kind of talking about standing in your own power a little bit there too, using water to cleanse. Okay. If, you know, like we saw there with the prayers and affirmations being realized, using water to help clear away anything that is sort of giving you any doubt or confusion or anything like that. Using water in certain rituals that may help you cleanse those energies for you there. That is your element. So water is very purifying for you guys. All right. And then we do have the obfuscate card, which was clarified by the earth energy. So there is sort of something that is sort of holding you down to earth, like rooting you in the spot, blinding your vision a little bit here. Okay, so it's like you can't see through the smoke. You can see here that it's a bunch of candles that have just been blown out, and so there's all this smoke around, and it's you may not be able to tell, but it's sitting on an eye, a closed eye here. Okay, so that leads us to believe that you can't see through the smoke. Okay, like your vision is obfuscated. Such a weird word, I know. It's not a word I use very other than this card. Okay, to obfuscate, it's like to blind you, to close your vision, to cloud your vision, so to speak. Okay, so that's what we're sort of seeing with that imagery too, is that, the clouded vision, the eye is closed, you can't see clearly through this smoke. Okay, and it's something that's quite grounded and holding you down to this earth, because when we do see that earth imagery there, it also has a mountain in that image. Okay, so I feel as though that's talking about this situation that we do need to walk away from, because right now it's holding you back. You're not able to see your way clear, but then once you can, put in a bit of work to walk away over this mountain. Okay, because the mountain imagery, usually does talk about obstacles and challenges as well, things that hold us down a little bit, having to put in some hard work to climb the mountain. But then when you do get to the top of that mountain, we've got this achievement up here, and you can see your way clear all of a sudden. Okay, so it's just letting us know that, no matter if it's difficult, and you feel confused, you feel clouded, you feel as though you can't see your way clear of this unhealthy situation, that you definitely do need to walk away from that situation. It's really feeling like it's holding you down and holding you back. Okay, so you guys are going to know what that situation is. I do feel like for a lot of you that may actually be like a work situation or a romantic situation that is quite unhealthy at the moment. All right, so I have got no clear indication through the cards of what that is, but that's just my sort of, my intuition is telling me that for some of you it's going to be a work situation, and for others of you it's going to be like a relationship situation. And like, I'm not telling anyone to walk away from a happy relationship. It's telling us to walk away from the negative aspects, the things that are holding us down, the things that are clouding our vision, walking away from those. Okay, you may just need to walk away rather than fight and fight and fight to try to climb this mountain, when the best solution is to just walk away from it. All right, but we'll ask for some direct advice. Advice for Scorpio, please. Advice for Scorpio. Okay, so we have here the cloud energy, the flowers, as well as the ring. Okay, So what I'm kind of getting from that is like I just said too, like I feel as though I said that for a reason, obviously, that, I'm not telling anyone to walk away from a relationship that, they love that person or anything like that. Since we do have that relationship card coming out there, as well as the flowers, I would definitely support that statement once again. And I would not be sort of saying walk away from the entire situation, just walk away from the elements that do not serve you. Okay. We do see with the clouds quite a lot of thinking. Once again, it's similar-ish energy to that obfuscate energy. It can sort of involve a bit of confusion, anxiety, not being able to see our way through the clouds kind of thing. But it also reminds us to look for the positives within our thoughts as well. Don't just dwell on the negative storm clouds, but to, find the bright, fluffy white clouds as well, that the ones that did bring that clarity through, okay, help cut through the confusion a little bit there. So it's talking about, thinking things through, but not to the point of overthinking, okay? But just thinking things through clearly and logically. All right. And then with the flowers, the flowers really is like an equality kind of energy, a balance kind of energy. All right. So it does talk about giving as much as we want to receive. Okay. So if you are someone who is always giving, pull back until you're receiving as well. All right, because it is talking about that equality. So if you're actually looking at a situation and you are receiving all these gifts or whatever, also making sure we're giving back as well. So it's talking a little bit about, it's very much of a giving kind of energy though. So I'd be more inclined to say, give, with the flowers there. And especially when it comes to relationships, it may not necessarily be love relationships. It's just talking about, close relationships. It could be family, friends, relationship with your pet, anything like that. Okay. We are doing the Mother's Day reading, so it definitely could be talking about the relationship between you and your mother, and actually just giving a little bit more to that, and in order to receive a little bit more of that mother nurturing energy back. So yeah, it's definitely, your advice is to still, be very giving with your thoughts as well. Okay, don't hold back your thoughts, because with the clouds there, I'd be saying, yeah, don't hold back your thoughts. Give your thoughts as well. So, for some people too, the flowers can actually be like a physical gift as well. Okay, so like I just mentioned, that mother energy that sort of jumped out to me too. That obviously in Australia here it's Mother's Day, and we everyone is sort of giving gifts to their mother or receiving gifts, whatever. You may want to give a physical gift to somebody this sort of next week or month. Just think about how important people are to you at the moment, and if you do feel compelled to give somebody a gift just because you love them, go right on ahead. It's going to be received quite well. All right. So that could be some advice for you as well. Give your mother a call or a gift or something like that, but not everyone, that's not for everyone. Okay, well, I'll move over to Sagittarius. How are we today, Sagittarius? Firstly, we're going to ask just for some help with balancing that divine feminine energy. So for Sagittarius, divine feminine, how can Sagittarius find balance, please? Divine feminine, how can Sagittarius find balance, please? Okay, so firstly we have, you've got the power. Sorry if I said that funny. You've got the power, Sagittarius. Use your abilities to resolve this situation. You can do it. Okay, so that's just letting us know that you have the power to balance everything out for yourself, no matter what is feeling unbalanced in your life. I'm feeling straight away that we might be looking at a love situation, but you do have the power to balance that out. You've got this. You can do it. All right. Your love life was the second card, which is why I did say that. The basis of your question involves your romantic life, which is now changing for the better. Okay, so we are going into a period where your love life is coming into a little bit more balance for you as well. All right. So I feel it's like a little bit talking about Sagittarius that um you know, having faith in yourself that you've got this and you can do this. You can balance these things out and move into more positive balance within these areas. How can Sagittarius find balance, please? Okay, 2 wanted to come out. Okay, so I see why 2 came out together because it was the Illuminate card, which was covering the Fear card. Okay, so it's talking about needing to illuminate our own fears. All right, so what is it that you're, scared of with these situations? What is it that you're scared of about finding balance? I'm feeling once again that we're talking about that love life energy. So it's kind of like you have some fears that you need to actually reflect upon and illuminate to yourself to be able to move forward through those and balance those out for yourself, addressing the fears that we have within ourselves when it comes to those things that are making us feel unbalanced. And then, once we have looked at those and accepted those, then needing to release those. Okay, so that is a lily on that card there as well. So that always brings to mind like emotional vulnerability and emotional intimacy as well. So it may be a bit of an emotional time releasing all these fears and releasing, all this energy. But I do feel as though it's going to definitely help you out there and make you more confident that, yes, you do have that power to balance these things out. It's just a little bit of fine tuning for you there. Then we have the guide card, so that's got the compass on there as well. So it really does talk about being your own guide as well. I feel like you've got the power once again to walk whichever path you need to guide yourself to the right choice. You've got the power to balance the compass and work out which path is correct for you, being your own guide, being your own tour guide in this life, I suppose. But also it may be talking about, talking to your spiritual guides if that's your jam. Talk to your spirit guides, ask for help with balance. So that may be important for you as well, Sagittarius. But we'll grab some advice for you. Advice for Sagittarius, please. Advice for Sagittarius. Okay, quite interesting there because we have had both the sun and the moon both popping out there. So when we're talking about a reading for divine feminine, that would be represented by that moon here, whereas the sun is the more masculine element. All right. The sun can also talk about a Leo for some of you there, but with both of those coming out, there's a lot of balance. Your advice is to balance out the masculine and the feminine within yourself. Balance your happiness emotionally. All right, because the moon can talk quite a lot about emotions as well, and the sun talks about that warmth and happiness, but also, you know, shining light on your emotions. So once again, I do feel as though that's linking with that illuminate, as well as that release card there with the lily. Because, you know, the lily, like I said, can talk about the more emotional stuff, and the more vulnerability side of things, which the moon definitely does. And coming to light through your intuition as well. Okay, the moon sometimes can talk about your intuition and following your intuition as well, but really just sitting in a zone of happiness, trying to be positive and sit in this happiness. Okay, because there is a lot of luck that comes with the moon as well. So, you know, if we are able to balance the sun and the moon energy, you know, you will be achieving a lot. You know, they're both celestial type cards as well. So, you know, there's a very higher aspect with those as well. The third card I have for you there is the child. So as you can see here, it's the egg in the nest. So it's like, obviously something's about to hatch. The child really does talk about things in their infancy stages, new beginnings, and things like that. Having that sense of joy and wonderment towards the world as well, especially with that sun card sitting there too. So, you know, really looking at the world through a child's eyes. And when we are illuminating fears, there may be an element where it's looking at our inner child as well, and maybe looking at issues about like around immaturity as well. Just as a side note for you there, that when you do stop and reflect on those fears, they may be things related to your inner child sort of thing there. But the overall vibe with the child card is, yeah, definitely sort of new beginnings, things in their infancy, and looking at the world with that childlike sense of wonder and amazement. Okay. And that, for your advice, will definitely help you stay on that right path and choose that right path. And, you know, following your intuition is quite a strong message for you as well, Sagittarius. Okay, well, I'll move over to Capricorn. How are we today, Capricorn? Firstly, we'll just have a look here and ask the Divine Feminine, how can Capricorn find balance? How can Capricorn find balance, please? How can Capricorn find balance? Okay, so Capricorn, we have the love life card, okay, and that does say the basis of your question involves your romantic life, which is now changing for the better. Okay, so you obviously your love life is important in order for you to find balance at the moment, all right, and knowing that it is going to be changing for the better. I know for a lot of Capricorns that's probably great news. Okay, you know, judging off my own Capricorn energy, you know, changing for the better is always a good thing. But the next card we do have there was the whom do you need to forgive card. Okay, so it does say, as you release old anger or resentment, you will find that your wishes will come true. Okay, so obviously there is a bit of a need for forgiveness there. When we do have that linked with the love life card, we definitely could be looking at some past connections that you may still hold some resentment or anger, and needing to sort of release that. And you know, not just forgiving that person, but forgiving yourself as well, Capricorn. Super important with that card that, you know, forgiveness starts with yourself, okay? Forgive yourself, you know, for being in that situation, for anything you may have done in that situation. Forgive yourself for having anger or resentment for those things that have happened in the past, all right? But do try to let go of them, okay? Not that, you know, I'm not anyone's um, judge or anything like that, but you know, it does sort of just tell us that in order to find balance, we do need to forgive. Okay, Not forget, but just forgive. All right. And forgive yourself. How can Capricorn find balance? Divine Feminine, how can Capricorn find balance, please? Okay, so firstly, we are seeing the healing card there. Okay, so definitely in that healing from something in the past with a love connection. I'm feeling Capricorn. You know, as we just saw with that forgiveness card, letting go of any past anger or resentment and healing from that as well. All right, and that will help bring out some balance. This one, I love this as a balance answer. I just the other night, I actually spent like hours fixing up some of my cards and being a little bit arty there. Well, not super, but it was just finicky. But I enjoy, you know, expressing creativity. Okay, I am a bit of an artist as well, so you know, creativity is definitely one of the ways I express myself and work through issues, heal from things. Okay, so creativity quite important for Capricorn at the moment, and creativity is not necessarily just about, you know, painting or creating a you know, an artwork or anything like that. Creativity looks like so many different things. Okay, creativity can be, you know, even just within the way that you do things, like adding an extra ingredient to the meal just to give it that little flair. Okay, you know, just totally random things, just being a little bit creative and embracing the creative aspects within yourself. Okay, Capricorn are known to have a really good little creative flair there. So really embrace it at the moment, and you will find a lot of, I feel that healing will help, like that will actually really help that healing process as well, focusing on your creativity. Okay, we also have the lunar card there. So the moon card is directly linked with the divine feminine energy. So like the divine mother, it is a like the lunar, we you know, the divine feminine runs on cycles just like the moon cycles. Okay, the tides run on the moon cycles. Women run on moon cycles. So it is quite an important energy for the divine feminine. So it is letting us know that you guys are protected. You know, that divine feminine is definitely there for you to help you balance and you know, go through this healing process and forgive what you need to forgive and all this sort of thing. It also does talk about emotions a little bit as well with the you know, like insensitivities, can talk about your intuition, following your intuition. But yeah, it can talk about, you know, a little bit of emotional sensibility, sensitivities as well with that moon card. So I feel that the message is forgiving yourself for being a little bit emotional if that's the case as well. All right. But we'll get some advice. Advice for Capricorn, please. Advice for Capricorn, please. Okay, and clarity for those last two cards, please. Why is that advice? Why is that advice? Okay. I feel like this might have to do with that anger and resentment that we're holding on to, and part of this healing process as well. But okay. I'll get into it there. We do have the bear energy first and foremost. So the bear energy is like a super strong card. It does talk about, standing in your own power, staying strong, okay? Um, a little bit defensive and protective. It's like a mama bear, protecting her cubs a little bit. So I feel as though, Capricorn, your advice is actually to be a little bit, protective of yourself at this time. All right, because we do see the Mountain is the next card out, and that is the Capricorn card. All right. And normally I would always talk about how the mountain is always an opportunity for when you get to the top of it. But with the next card there, I am feeling that we're strictly talking about some sort of obstacle or challenge or a delay that is coming up for you, and being able to sort of stand strong through that. Okay. So there is some sort of challenge coming up. I actually feel, Capricorn, that we're going to be facing some sort of test in the near future, okay? Because if we're going through this process of healing and needing to forgive and letting go of anger and resentment, Divine loves to throw a test toward you to see if you really have healed, and if you really have forgiven, and if you really have been able to let go of that anger and that resentment. Okay. I am seeing the whip, which was clarified by the snake card. Okay. So the whip card does talk about troubles and tensions. Okay. Some sort of drama, some sort of challenging time coming up. So with the mountain and the whip beside each other, it's definitely some sort of challenge upcoming. All right. And like I'm just getting intuitively that it's like a test. And I'm kind of feeling like it's going to be like a person, or like something to do with our love life, a test to see if we really have healed and gotten through that anger or resentment. All right. So whoever is the cause of all this anger and resentment that we need to forgive, there may be some upcoming tension or drama with that person, that we're needing to stand strong and firm through, and be very protective of ourselves through this as well. All right. Because with the snake there, not only can the snake talk about temptation, because this is why I'm feeling like it could be this person that we need to forgive coming back around somehow. Because the snake, not only does it talk about temptation, so like the temptation to repeat a cycle, for example, there is an element of deception with the snake. A lot of the time there is some sort of underlying deception with that. Okay, so when it comes to a challenge, we may have this person coming back into our lives, and the challenge is, do we avoid the temptation? Do we allow ourselves to be deceived again? I want to say again there, okay? And with the snake and the whip combination, we could be talking about some sort of physical desires with that person as well. All right. So that particular combination, when it talks about physical intimacy, the whip should be your clue. Okay, that when it comes to physical intimacy, it could be talking about some sort of punishment element, some sort of play, physical intimacy, play, punishment. I hope you guys know what I'm saying, because like YouTube, I don't want to get censored or anything like that. So there is an element of that too, with there being that temptation as well. So I feel like this is coming up as advice because it's forewarned is forearmed. The whole, if we're aware that this is just a test, maybe we'll be able to avoid the temptation to be deceived once again. I keep saying again, okay? So maybe this person has deceived you in some way in the past. I feel like I want to grab one more card. I'm going to grab, what I'll do is I'll grab I'll grab one of the oracles to, if this is our advice, and our advice is to face a challenge and stand strong through a challenge, can you please give us more information about what Capricorn should do? I just had a light, like there was no light on over there, but I saw a light go off out of the corner of my eye. That is so weird. Okay, I'm just a little bit freaked out now, Capricorn. What should Capricorn do, please? Intuition, okay? Follow your intuition. If your intuition is telling you that they are deceiving you, they are. If your intuition is telling you that this is just a test and that you need to pass this test by not following that path, that's what you need to do, okay? If your intuition tells you that you need to follow that path, by all means, follow it. But stand strong in your power. Stay strong when you face this challenge and follow your intuition. Okay, it's follow your intuition, Capricorn. That's, like I said, it's going to be it does feel like it's an upcoming test, okay? And all of a sudden I'm getting like this super weird vibe, and I don't know whether it's from that weirdness that just happened. Like I'm feeling really freaked out all of a sudden, and it's not just from that. It's part of this vibe, okay, of this test. It's like, I don't know, there's some element that's going to freak you out a little bit. So just like, yeah, stand strong, Capricorn, and really rely on your intuition, all right? So as we saw at the start of that reading, who do we need to forgive? Forgiveness, the key. So, the sooner that we can really try to work on acceptance and forgiveness for ourselves, first and foremost, and being able to stand strong in our own power, the better, because this test feels like it's not far off, and it's going to be a hard one, Capricorn. It's going to be difficult, all right? Like I said, I'm a Capricorn too, so yay. So I'm sorry to bring that kind of a message to, like, we were on such a good roll there, and then we had our advice being, hang on, whoa, chillax, guys. But yeah, I wish us all the best, okay, Capricorn? Leave me a comment and let me know if that resonated for you guys or not. Everyone that does comment will go in the draw for a free personal reading as well. So, make sure you subscribe so you can keep updated for when that is drawn. But other than that, I'll move on to Aquarius. How are we, Aquarius? Just give me a second here. I'm just going to clear that, clear the energy in the room here. That Capricorn reading just took a turn, so I do need to just sort of clear my space somewhat. Okay, I'm doing everything. I'm doing all my my energy sprays, and I had my bell there, and I've got my wand here as well. It's my beautiful selenite wand. Okay, cool. All right. Sorry about that, Aquarius. We'll get into your reading now, okay? Okay, firstly, we're looking at um, Divine Feminine, obviously. And Divine Feminine, how can Aquarius find balance, please? How can Aquarius find balance? Okay, interesting, Aquarius. Firstly, we have the marriage card coming out for you there that says the fairies join you in celebrating wedded bliss. Okay, so obviously, you know, that could be talking about an actual marriage. You know, maybe not even yours. You know, you may be going to a wedding or those sorts of things. But it also can talk about that marriage between, you know, like a soul marriage, like a soul contract kind of marriage, like um, not even with a person. It could be talking about that marriage between you and your spiritual self, you and the higher echelons, whatever that may be. You know, we are doing a divine feminine reading, so it could be talking about that perfect marriage of bliss between you and the divine feminine, all right, in order to find some balance. You know, incorporating that more, you know, taking that on as a commitment, all right. So definitely could be talking about that as well. But, you know, obviously for some of you that may talk about an actual marriage, okay? Because we are seeing your desire is within reach. So have faith as everything is working in your favor. What a beautiful message, Aquarius. That's lovely. I really like that. All right, so we'll move on to the oracle cards there. Whoa. Sorry. I'll put them back in the deck. There was a couple extra. Okay, so Aquarius. How can Aquarius find balance, please? How can Aquarius find balance? Okay, so we're looking at a few aspects here, Aquarius. You know, obviously we did see the marriage in that first one, and that brings to mind that marriage can also talk about, you know, the binding of multiple things. Okay, so not just one, not just two people, but marriage can talk about, you know, the marriage of all the elements within our life all joining together. And that's what I'm kind of getting here, all right, because we're seeing wealth followed by labor, followed by home. Okay, so we're definitely looking at, you know, hard work and you know, the work element, the financial element, and the home element, and finding balance across them. Okay, so balancing your work life with your home life, and you know, finding some balance within your wealth as well, you know, because wealth can talk about a lot more than just money as well. Okay, so where do you feel your sense of wealth lays? Is it with financial wealth? Is it with having a strong home life? Is it with having a strong career? Is it through other avenues? All right, so what brings wealth into your life? Okay, as you can see here in the picture, it you know, wealth can talk about having lots of crystals in your house. sorry, I did get for Mother's Day. Look at one of the gifts I got for Mother's Day today, guys. Look at this, Aquarius, an obsidian tower, and it's printed. Isn't that gorgeous? So definitely feeling the wealth. Sorry, that's me just being weird, but I'm super in love with it. So, you know, it's sitting here with us for our readings today. So it's helping, you know, bring that wealth of opportunity in for everyone, that wealth of balanced opportunity in. Okay, so maybe maybe like me, you are somebody who does enjoy crystals and having a wealth of crystals in the home, you know, supporting all the energies around you. Okay. Um, that's so weird. Sorry, Aquarius, but you know, there's probably at least one or two of you that resonate with that. Um, but yeah, like I said, the labor aspect as well. So your career, putting in hard work, maybe helping you create wealth within other areas of your life. Putting in, you know, solid home life and that sense of security within your home life may actually be helping you bring in a stronger sense of wealth, that balance, and finding balance from within all of them. All right, so balancing work and career, balancing, you know, all the things in your life into, you know, those aspects will really help you find that balance. All right, but some specific advice for Aquarius, please. Advice for Aquarius, please. I'm going to take that one off the bottom as well, because firstly we have the masculine. Okay, so obviously we're doing a divine feminine reading, and then with the context, we do have the scythe coming through next. So it's kind of telling us to change our masculine ways. Okay, so looking at ourselves, looking at the certain masculine traits. Are we trying to control every aspect, or are we trying to balance them? Okay, so there's a difference. You know, and it's talking about, you know, um, talking about our emotions and being a little bit more vulnerable, you know, rather than being so stoic and logical all the time, making a change, making a bit of a sudden change away from the masculine elements and really focusing on the more feminine elements within yourself. So regardless of whether you're, you know, a masculine or a feminine energy, cutting out that masculine, you know, toxicity, so to speak. I'm not having a rag on masculine at all. I'm just sort of saying that, you know, in this particular spread there, the masculine is overpowering. Okay, and we're needing to cut that away and leading into, you know, this sense of protecting yourself, and then the next card was the heart. Okay, so when we do see this bear energy, it really is talking about protecting our heart, protecting our emotions, protecting our vulnerabilities, and, you know, standing strong in our power, being assertive, not dominative, not passive either, but, you know, being assertive, not, yeah, like, not, like, I want to say it again, not dominative, because the masculine can be quite like domineering. All right, and so that bear energy, it's like a mama bear. Okay, so you want to move away from that masculine energy, and move more into the mama bear kind of energy where you're protecting and, you know, looking after your little cubs, or so to speak, which, you know, your cubs being your heart space, all right, your emotional space, your romantic self. All right, and then at the end of the day, we did see at the top there, your desire is within reach. Okay, so just a few little things to sort out to get that balance, and, you know, and just make sure that we are finding balance and not getting, you know, too stuck in one or the other energies. So definitely I feel needing to bring a little bit more femininity into your energy at the moment. Okay. But we'll move on to Pisces. How are we, Pisces? I will start with asking Divine Feminine for how can we help Pisces find balance? Divine Feminine, how can Pisces find balance, please? How can Pisces find balance? Oh, card's not wanting to shuffle today. Oh, that's an interesting message, Pisces. Okay. I feel straight away like I need to ask for some clarity on this message. So I'm just going to grab some clarity before I say anything stupid. Okay, Pisces. Okay, can I please get some clarity? Are these cards supposed to be read together or separately, please? Can I please get some clarity for this particular message? Okay, hang on. I obviously haven't asked clearly enough for my clarity there. Sorry, Pisces. Okay, why this first card? Why this first card, please? Please clarify this first card, please. Please clarify this second card, please. I'm just going to tell you what I can see, Pisces, because I'm not going to lie, like I don't entirely understand this message. But I can at least tell that they're separate now, all right? Because I do have... This is what's thrown me, okay? It's this pregnancy card. You have the card of pregnancy. The birth of a child brings great blessings to you and the world. But it's not a real, it's not an actual pregnancy, okay, Pisces? I'm definitely feeling that we're not talking about an actual pregnancy here. Okay. I did draw this pregnancy card for one of the other signs earlier, and it felt different to what it feels like now. That's why it's thrown me so much, I think, because it says pregnancy, but it's not talking about an actual pregnancy, okay? It's talking about growing something within you, like birthing something, like I clarified that with the sun, and the sun talks about bringing light to situations and like happiness and warmth. So once again, like a nurturing kind of growing fire energy. I'm definitely getting the message of fire with that sun card. So it's like creating a spark. It's not a pregnancy as such. It's like a like a metaphysical pregnancy, creating a spark, a new spark, creating a spark. All right, we're going to get some more info about that in a moment. All right, but some new spark of energy is going to create happiness and balance for you. But it's something new, like it's birthing something new, birthing this new fire within you. Like, I'm definitely getting the reference to fire with that. The sun, just that solar card, the sun card there, that could actually represent Leo. All right, so I'll make sure I mention that, because like I said, I'm not understanding this super clear. I'm not getting a super clear message. So this could be a little bit different for every single Pisces. But it's definitely got something to do with fire. And like, I keep getting that creating a spark when it comes to that pregnancy card. Like, I don't even want to say the word pregnancy, because that just feels so different to what I'm feeling right now. It's not an actual pregnancy. Okay. And then, like I said, I did clarify, and this other energy is a separate energy to that. Okay, so not connected to that. We do have this walk away card. So that does say, leave the unhealthy situation and enjoy the new doors that open as a result. So, and then, that was clarified by that death card. Okay, so the death card confirming that, yeah, you definitely need to walk away, that you need to, this unhealthy situation needs to come to an end, so that you can enjoy the new doors that open. So the new doors could be that spark, okay? That new spark, like, that's what I keep getting. That's all I keep getting from that, is that there's a new spark, like a spark of creation, a new, like the birth of a new spark. Like I'm going around in circles, because that's all I'm getting. I'm just trying to, like, find the right words. But yeah, like, anyway, walking away from an unhealthy situation is going to help you find balance and help you open new doors, okay, into new situations that are not going to be unhealthy, all right? Okay, so for now, I'm just going to leave those energies as is for now, okay? I'm going to proceed with the reading, and if they want to connect back up in a minute, they will, okay? Okay, so Divine Feminine, how can Pisces find balance, please? How can Pisces find balance? Okay, and they go with that one, and that goes with that one. So they do go, like, I'm seeing two clear, there's two clear energies with those two cards, all right? So with the pregnancy card and then the walk away card, I've got two clear energies coming through. So can I grab one more card for that pregnancy card, please? So I'm able to split the energies, but I'm still not 100% sure what that was about. Okay. So we'll go through that walking away from the unhealthy situation first, okay? Because that's pretty straightforward energy that I can deal with straight away. So with that, we do have the release card there, okay? So that's followed by the reflect card, okay? So once again, getting another message that we do need to release that situation walk away from that situation, the death of that situation. We've gotten 3 separate cards, all sort of saying the same thing. But then reflection as well, reflecting upon that situation. There, especially with the, the lily imagery in that release card, that does talk about emotional intimacy and emotional vulnerability. So I feel as though that's with yourself, reflecting upon your own emotions and your own emotional vulnerabilities that have sort of tied you to that situation in the first place. All right, and releasing those and reflecting upon, what brought you to that in the first place, and why that became an unhealthy situation that you now need to walk away from. All right, so I do feel there's some reflection there that will help you balance everything else out as a result of walking away from that situation. Okay, now the one we're all looking forward to, this pregnancy card I've got the gift as well as the travel card there. Okay, so a new spark, like when I kept saying over and over, a new spark, and then we're seeing a gift or some sense of travel. Once again, I feel as though this is a very metaphysical thing that we're talking about here. So I feel like I'm really relying on my intuition here, to be completely honest, Pisces. So if this is bringing anything to mind for you who's watching, please follow your intuition and take your own interpretation on board, okay? Because like I said, this is not super clear to me right here, right now. So it's going to be one of them things that it's, later tonight I'm going to be in bed and it's going to make sense all of a sudden, and it's too late. I've already recorded. I feel as though this is like some sort of esoteric gift. I don't feel like we're looking at a physical gift. I feel like we're talking about like some sort of spiritual gift, helping you find your sense of balance. And it may be some sort of physical gift like that involves travel. So like, like time, like, I don't know why I want to say time travel, but like astral travel, traveling to a new level of consciousness. It could be physical travel. Obviously, it could be physical travel and needing to get away from, like once again, walking away from that other situation, like literally traveling away. But, I do feel like that there's a deeper meaning here that I'm just not grasping at the moment. So I'm sorry, Pisces, that I cannot completely decipher that for you. I feel as though you guys may, like I said, if anything is coming to you when I've talked about this, then you take that on board, please. With the travel, we've got the butterfly there too. So the travel could be like transformation type travel within yourself, traveling from the person you used to be to the person you are becoming. Definitely could be that new spark that we're seeing. Definitely could be. But once again, that new spark, it keeps guiding me back to that gift card. So I really feel that for a lot of the Pisces out there, there's going to be like a spiritual type gift that is this new spark that's going to help you find balance. So, yeah, you might be, going through a little bit of a awakening of some description, Pisces, and receiving some new spiritual gifts or abilities. Okay, that I don't want to delve any deeper into that because I'm just sort of I'm going to start confusing myself even more if I delve into that anymore. I've pretty much said what I can say, and I'm sorry, Pisces. Once again, I am sorry, but you know, if that's sort of sparking anything within you, definitely listen to your intuition. All right. Advice for Pisces, please. Advice for Pisces, please. Okay, I'm going to grab that one off the bottom as well. Your advice there, Pisces. Firstly, we have the anchor card. Okay, so that's just talking. I feel as though that's talking about, you know, staying like not staying still, but like holding firm and secure, because things are going to be stirred up for you, Pisces. So you need to sort of like drop your anchor and be ready to sail some rough seas, like be ready to hold the ship from sinking away, like from floating away. You need to be this anchor to make sure the rough seas don't throw you off course, kind of a vibe I'm getting from that anchor there. So it's just talking about, you know, staying strong and like anchoring yourself at this time. All right, because we are seeing some things getting stirred up. That's the stork energy. So we are seeing some things getting stirred up for you. The interesting thing is that with the stork energy, sometimes it can talk about pregnancy. So that's really odd to me. Like I said, I was not getting an actual physical pregnancy, but for some reason, the word pregnancy seems to be important. And then we are seeing butterfly wings in this particular card as well. You can see the butterfly wings just along here. So we're stirring up some sort of transformation. That's what the pregnancy is. It's a transformation. It's like the birth of a new you or something like that, Pisces. The birth of this new gift. All right. It's getting stirred up. You need to hold that anchor strong so you can, you know, anyone that has sort of started on their journey through an awakening, it is rough sailing here and there. You know, it's never a smooth sailing kind of a thing. So it's telling you to stay anchored throughout all this. All right. Because then we do have the rider, which the rider is pretty much just good news on the way. All right, so after these transformation type energy gets stirred up for you there, we do have some good news on the way. And that was like, I've got the crossroads there as well. So the crossroads is kind of about making choices and following your path. Okay, so I think the good news is going to be guiding you to the right path, or the good news is telling you that you're on the right path. Okay, I'm getting a super positive vibe from the rider and the crossroad there. So you know, I'm just still feeling a bit odd about that pregnancy card, but like I said, I'm pretty sure that we're looking at the birth of a new gift. I feel like that's what we're looking at for majority of the Pisces here. Is it's going to be like a spiritual gift, and it's getting stirred up right now, and you're transforming in some way. Okay, so that's what I have for you today, Pisces. That one was super interesting. There was, I must say, there was 2 readings today that wiped me off the floor, and well, it was you guys in Capricorn. Okay, so that one really threw me. I've not. It's been like, it's not very often that I get a message that I just cannot comprehend like that. It took me a while, but I think we got there. I think it was just because it was such an unclear kind of message, and it was just such a esoteric message that, of course, it's never going to be clear when it's something unexpected like that, all right? But leave me a comment and let me know what you guys think and if that resonates for you, Pisces, all right? But anyone that comments will go in the draw for that free personal as well. So, make sure you subscribe so you can keep updated to that as well. But thank you all so much for being here with me today. Like I said, it's Mother's Day in Australia, so celebrating that divine mother, divine feminine, earth mother vibe, and I really enjoyed it. So thank you all so much.